Hello there, it's Pete Moriarty. Welcome to this video. I'm going to be doing a very, very special video for you. It is Friday the 13th, and I'm going to be doing a Friday the 13th special. I've been waiting a couple of years to actually do this, where I've had my equipment and my team ready to go. So here I am live. You're lucky that I've got the camera with me while I'm traveling right now. But I want to talk about systems for you and systems for your business. And I want to talk about a very special session that you can run with your team today on Friday the 13th. Even if you run it for a quick 10-minute meeting with your team, this is going to be something that is very cool for your business. Now, if you don't know me, my name is Pete Moriarty. I run a business called itGenius, and I help entrepreneurs systemize, organize, and scale using both Google Workspace and a slew of other best practice technology tools. And so everything that small business owners need to systemize and scale and create a business that works without you, I'm all about that. And so if you haven't already subscribed to my channel and that kind of thing, just head to peter.tv and that'll give you the links for everything. Now, when we create systems inside our business, we like to document those systems. And so what that might look like is how-tos, it might look like training, it might look like onboarding guides, because to create a scalable business that is going to be able to grow when you're quickly bringing on new resources, you need to have the way that you do things inside your business documented. Very, very important. And so making sure that you have a digital operating procedures manual is going to help you to rapidly bring on new team members as you grow and scale your business. And so if you've read the book, The Entrepreneurial Myth, or the E-Myth, as it's written by Michael Gerber, you know that he talks about documenting all of the how-tos in your business so that you can start taking hats off and start giving things to other people inside the business. And having grown and scaled a business, our business is, our group of businesses now is doing around about $10 million a year in recurring revenue. And across those different businesses, we have different teams. We've got about 60 people. We've got different companies. We've got different brands. And there is this ongoing process of just continuing to take hats off, take hats off, take hats off. For myself, being the founder of at least some of those businesses, I have to be the one who is basically helping the team to grow and expand as we scale. And so there's always new roles being created. There's always new disciplines being created in the business. And one of the key skills for an entrepreneur, I call them one of the entrepreneurial muscles, is both the ability to delegate, but number two is the ability to document systems so you can actually take those hats off. So very, very important skills to have. Now, given that it's Friday the 13th, I like to think about, well, what could go wrong? There's superstition around Friday the 13th being a day of bad luck. And I like to use this day as an opportunity to reflect on, well, how would our business respond if something really bad went wrong? And so that might look like a key person or a director getting hit by a bus and no longer being able to be a part of the business anymore. Maybe you have somebody senior who's a leader in your business, all of a sudden not able to report to work anymore. Maybe you have a team, and for some geographical reason, maybe it's a geopolitical threat or a pandemic or a natural disaster. For some reason, imagine you had a team that just couldn't show up to work. How would your business deal with each one of those risks? How would your business handle each one of those challenges coming up? And if you've got no idea how you would handle any of those, well, then you may be in trouble if one of those were to happen. Now, of course, I don't want to wish that upon anybody. These are not the kind of things that we like to think about. It's not comfortable to think about. But Friday the 13th, because it only comes around every now and again, is a good day to reflect on that with your team. And so if you've got a couple of moments to reflect on that and maybe just kind of jot down a few notes, how would we handle this if X happens? Then that would be something that would be a good idea to start thinking about with your team. So what are some of the things that I think about, in my business with my team with this? Well, let's say, for example, myself, I'm a key person in the business. Even though I'm not really that operationally involved inside itGenius on a day-to-day basis, there's Scott Gallatley, our CEO, who runs that business. Day-to-day operationally means that I'm not really involved in it, but I'm the primary shareholder, and so I still sign the checks. And so that means I'm still the one releasing funds from the bank. I still have, a super administrator account in our Workspace account. And so I've still got access to different systems, and, I still have my password saved in LastPass to certain apps and certain areas of the business where I want to have access to. But what would happen if I was to be hit by a bus? I walk outside. I'm traveling at the moment, or maybe there's a aviation accident, or maybe something goes wrong, and I've got to I think touch wood here so I don't jinx myself, right? But what if there was something to happen to me, and for some reason I wasn't able to report to work in the business? How would my team handle that? Well, I know, for example, that with my email account, it's under our domain name, and our team have access to the DNS settings of our domain name. And so if I was the only administrator on our Google Workspace account, I know that somebody else inside our business would be able to get access to my administrator account and then get access to my email. Okay, cool. Well, that's pretty straightforward. They're going to get access to most things in my life once they have access to my email. What about the passwords stored in my LastPass vault? Well, I have multiple other administrators that I've delegated access to our LastPass business account. And those other administrators can get access to my LastPass vault if they need to. And so we have other key people in the business who can access that if that's needed. Okay, well, now they've got my passwords, so the team have pretty much access to everything that Peter has access to. What about access to the bank? Well, that one would probably be a little bit harder because I'm the primary signatory on some of the accounts still, but other shareholders in the business are able to get access to an account in the event that there is a director who is incapacitated in some way. So they have processes for that to get access. But these are the kind of things that hopefully I'm starting to prompt some ideas in your mind of how you may like to document things inside your business if you were suddenly unable to report to work. Okay, so what are the kind of things that might happen that could cause a Friday the 13th type disaster that could be a risk to your team? Well, there could be another pandemic of some sort. We've all found out very, very quickly in some cases how a pandemic can stop the world and really shift how we're able to access services, access resources, and even move about physically in the world as well. One of our team members was actually holidaying in the Philippines when the pandemic hit in March 2020, I think it was. And she was actually stuck on one island in one resort for 9 months. Imagine that. Imagine being stuck in one place for 9 months. And there's plenty of stories of people who are stuck across different borders and unable to see family. So if you are a business that is in some way requiring physical logistics and requires physical presence of your team, then you'd have to think to yourself, okay, well, how could you potentially manage if someone is locked down physically? All right, that's number one. Next up, think about natural disasters. And so we have a large team in the Philippines who handle a lot of our delivery and project management and customer service. And we have worked with some businesses in the past who have their teams in one office in one location. Unfortunately for the Philippines, there are some pretty common risks like typhoons. From time to time, there's landslides based on that as well. And other parts of Southeast Asia have been affected by earthquakes and therefore tsunamis as well. And so we obviously saw in the last 12 months quite a large typhoon in Cebu, which knocked out large parts of the city. And that meant that teams that were there were unable to access services for weeks. Now, if you're a business and you have one team in one location, one particular geographical location, well, then that's going to be a risk for you because whether it's a power outage, whether it's, in some countries you have the risk of civil unrest, or if it's some kind of natural disaster that is based in a particular location, well, then you're going to have a risk there in that one particular area. In the case of the Philippines, thankfully, because our team are spread out right across the country, we mitigate that risk by making sure that we don't have everyone in the one location, which could potentially wipe out our business. Now, you may think, oh, yeah, okay, for a couple of days, people to get access to services, again, you could probably survive that. But if itGenius, which now has about 50 odd people on the team, if we completely stopped for 3 or 4 or 5 days, we'd actually have a pretty serious problem because many of our customers rely on us to respond to them very quickly, to help them manage their data for their teams, and with basic things like onboarding and offboarding of staff and helping their businesses run. We're like the kind of back-end engine for a lot of our customers' businesses, and they rely on us heavily to make sure that we are supporting them quickly. And so that would be a pretty big risk for us. One of the ways that we've managed that risk is to move people across different cities and make sure that we're not limiting our location to just the one place. So we've got a couple of people who have joined. I want to say hi to Lay, hi to Chos the Musings and Hydrogen. welcome. Thanks for joining on the live stream. If you have any questions, by the way, you can just drop them right below in the questions here. Or if you have other questions for me that you'd like me to cover in a future video, drop them onto ask.peter.tv. I've set up a question and answer poll that just kind of stays there now. So if you go to ask.peter.tv, you can ask me any questions and I'll cover them in an upcoming live stream at some point. Okay, so we've started to identify what some of the risks are. We've started to identify what the areas of risk are in our business or what might cause some of those risks. As you're reflecting on these, you're going to start to develop some action plans. And so once you've got your action plans, you're just going to document those like you would document any other system or process or how-to inside your business. And if you want to find the ultimate system for writing systems, to write really clear business systems, head along to my YouTube channel, go to peter.tv. You'll see the link on there and just search our channel for the word systems and you'll find that video. Well, in there, we've got the system for writing and documenting great business systems. And once you do that, you know the format and how to write them. But what we're going to do is we're going to write down the action plan. What do we do if a director can't show up to work? What do we do if a key team member can't show up to work? What do we do if a whole team is locked out? Or any of the other scenarios that you identify would be an emergency Friday the 13th disaster scenario. I hope this has been useful for you. If you're interested in learning more about systemizing your business so you can exit the operations, then I'm very, very passionate about teaching business owners and their leadership teams about how to do that. Not only is building great business systems and documenting the systems in your business a great way for you to exit operationally from the business, myself, I'm very, very lucky that once I'd grown and scaled itGenius, by the time I hit 27 years old, I was effectively able to semi-retire because I was able to step back from the operations of the business, have great people in there running the business, and basically earn the profit from the business without having to be involved in the day-to-day anymore. And that's meant that I've been able to switch my entrepreneurship to other projects. I've also been able to engage in more impact work and impact entrepreneurship. And now I get to spend a lot more time giving back, educating business owners on my YouTube channel about how to grow better businesses, which I love doing. So yes, you're going to earn more profits and you're going to have more freedom and flexibility when you are documenting your business systems, but everyone in your company is going to have less stress. When you've got a business well systemized, and I know it's kind of boring work to get it done, you will have a business that is easier to onboard staff, easier to replace staff when they need to leave. You can let go of that crazy entrepreneurial thought of I need to clone myself or I just need to find more people like me, because when you get good at documenting systems and then delegating those systems to others, now all of a sudden you create a great business that can work without you. And I want to help you do that. So if you're interested in learning more about that process, we have a bootcamp coming up. It's in just a couple of weeks this month, January 2023. Click on the link down below to check this out, or if you don't have a link down there, head along to peter.tv. There's a link to our bootcamp. It's a couple of $100, but in 2 half days, I'm going to be teaching you all the tricks on how to systemize and organize your business so you can scale more effectively or potentially just exit. Now, this is designed for solopreneurs and small business owners. If you're a small business owner and you've got, in the vicinity of 10, 20, 30 employees, or if you've got just a couple of contractors inside your business and you're looking to grow, this is a great fit for you. Or if you're a larger organization and you want to learn how we do leadership in small business land and how we document systems, you're very welcome to come along as well. But click on the link below and check out that bootcamp if you're interested. This is the kind of thing that I would normally reserve for private masterminds and private events. I've never taught this stuff publicly before, so I'm very excited to be sharing it with you. But the tickets are very, very limited, so make sure you jump on and grab a seat while you still can. Okay, if you've got any questions, drop them down below this video in the comment section, and I'll try and answer as many comments as I can. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Until next time, take care.